As we come to President Trump's first 100 days, his second 100 days in a sense, because it's the second administration, let's take a look back because we're almost coming up, and this will be here very soon, on the 10-year anniversary of President Trump coming down that golden escalator. And remember what the world was like in 2015. If you were a Republican and you mentioned the word deportations, you were pushed to the side. You were shunned. You were publicly attacked by the media. You were far right because you wanted illegal aliens out of the country, or God forbid, you wanted to maintain the current standard of the country that we live in now. You wanted peace. You didn't want congestion in your cities. You didn't want this creaking education system, healthcare system, housing situation, all of these problems that are exacerbated because there are too many people in this country, or the fact that you don't like the cheap foreign labor being imported that's literally pushing people out of their own jobs in places like Disney where they were having to train their own foreign replacements. You were considered a psycho. And now you look what's going on. They turn around and say, you know what, on this question, even CNN has to admit it, that Trump is ascendant on this issue, that Trump won on this issue. His entire political career is because he got this right. And in addition, all of the incredible talents and everything else that he's accomplished. But he was right on the money when it came to this issue where the American people are. Rich Barris, I want to bring you in here. And I really do think that it's incredible that look at where, just as we talk about, the trajectory of things, look at where the Republican Party has come since the autopsy of 2012 to today on this issue. It is night and day, and these people have absolutely fallen. They have absolutely fallen. And I got to just say one more thing before we get out, is that to the Republicans in D.C., if you think, oh, well, we'll just slow roll Trump and then we'll go back to the Mitt Romney, Jeb Bush. No. Those type of candidates are never going to win again. If you do try to go back to that kind of party, not only will you destroy the coalition, MAGA, as well, what you're going to end up with is a world where the far left, like the Luigis, actually take over. Rich Barris.
Yeah, that CNN clip, that was actually interesting. What he's essentially referring to is the wording of surveys. That is what he's being critical. I am forced to say that Harry is right here. He's not right often, but when he is, he is. What he's saying is the survey wording is not getting to the core of public opinion. And it's a great example. It's background check and gun control. Oh my God, 90% support, these databases and doing background checks, right? But then when these measures get thrown on ballots and initiatives in competitive states, they get thrashed, or at best, like he said, it's 50-50. We see this with a lot of issues, Jack. The bottom line is tariffs. Do you or would you support what Trump is doing with tariffs, and do you support the end goal? Are you willing to take a little bit of pain in order to get to this better future? I mean, they're not really wording these questions like that. They're like, do you support tariffs that are going to increase the cost of prices? I mean, so that's what he's referring to. And the funny thing about the autopsy is this. Donald Trump's Republican Party is exactly what the so-called autopsy of 2012 called for the party to become. And yet the very people who commissioned, the very, politicos who commissioned it, the very donors who paid for it, they're the ones who are making they pose the biggest threat to Donald Trump's White House, his coalition, and the ultimate success of the policy agenda. And I find that to be very ironic, whatever you want to call it, and I have for many years. This is the party the autopsy said they wanted. This is the party the autopsy claimed they needed to get in order to survive as a national political force. They got younger people. They got more black voters. They got more Hispanic voters. They are the party of the rising demographics. And that is amazing since, once upon a time, we were all obsessing over a book called The Emerging Democratic Majority, which argued that demographics were destiny and that Democrats would be the ascendant party and there was nothing Republicans could do about it. That, of course, I always thought was faulty.